Hello, Henny.
Hello.
Henny, tell me about Picasso. Where do you think Picasso appears? In which story?
Picasso. Um, um, Crime Museum.
Okay, right. Number 2, in a crime. What about halftime?
Halftime for hockey game.
Perfect, okay. What about injured? Injured, Henny?
Crime?
It can be crime, but there's another one that is more evident.
What?
How can you guess another one that is more evident?
Explosion.
An explosion.
An explosion.
Right. Usually, when there is an explosion, the first thing that you worry is if there were people that were injured, right? But it can be in the crime too. It can be in the crime because the police can be following the thieves and then shoot them and there's somebody injured, correct? It's possible too. Okay. Guilherme, the word thieves, which story do you think appears?
Thieves.
Sure, teacher? I'm sorry.
The word thieves. In which of the stories do you think it appears?
Thieves.
In the exercise 3.
In the exercise, yeah, we are in exercise 3, the word thieves, and you have to connect it with the stories of exercise 2.
Thieves, I don't know that word.
Thieves.
The significance.
Okay.
Thieves.
The thieves are the people that take things that are not theirs.
In the number 2, a crime.
The crime, number 2, all right. What about cancer?
Right.
You have no...
A death.
A death,
4.
That's right, 4. All right. Henny, what about higher pay? Higher pay.
Hockey gaming.
Repeat?
A hockey gaming.
It could be. If we had only high pay, it would be. But higher is comparative. Higher is comparative. So you are comparing...
I strike.
A strike. That's right. Very good. What about closed? Closed. How?
Closed. I teach. I strike.
It could be
No,
a
strike.
strike.
No, a crime. A crime.
A crime. A strike.
A crime is strike. No?
Okay.
Crime is strike.
Okay. Or it could be an explosion too, because after the explosion, they closed the entrance to the building, etc. Right? Okay. Guard, Guilherme. Where can you see the story of the word guard?
A crime too?
It could be a crime too, that's right. Or in an explosion, all right. Because the guard didn't see anything in the museum, right? It can be. Goals, Henny.
Goals. Game.
In a hockey game, right? Beat, Raul.
Beat 5. Hockey.
A hockey game, that's right. Ex-wife, Guilherme.
Beat o quê?
Beat
Game.
is to have more points than the other group. At this moment, Argentina beat Croatia.
Yes.
Okay. Ex-wife, Guilherme.
His wife,
Yeah. Which story?
explosion.
An explosion, okay. It can be. A person died and the ex-wife was crying there. Okay. Another possibility, Raul?
It's 4 death, no?
Yeah, the death of an important actor, right? Okay. And look, we have thieves are the people. Theft. Theft is the act of taking something. The theft is the act of taking something. Henny, where can we put theft?
Theft. Theft is singular.
Yes,
Right?
theft is singular. That's right. Theft is
Right.
singular. It is not 5, but number 2.
Right.
A theft is a crime. A theft is a crime. An assassination is a crime. A theft is a crime, okay? And protesting, Guilherme, protesting.
What is this? A strike?
A strike is when the workers don't work. No, we are not working until we negotiate.
Strike.
Okay,
I think
it's a strike. All right, very good.
tomorrow, yesterday, I think you have protest, extremist protesting.
Yes,
Yesterday.
that's right. Yesterday we had a group of people protesting. Very good, that's right. But they were very inconvenient in their protests, right?
Put fire.
They put fire, that's right. They put fire
with the bus.
on
I put
buses.
to go to Windy.
Oh, really? They put a fire on the bus that goes to UNB. Oh my God. Oh, how terrible.
800,000 de reais cada um.
Every bus.
Every bus.
Oh, that was a big economic loss. Oh my God, how terrible. How terrible. They discovered that there are some business people that are financing these groups. I think they should be charged for this. Right? If they finance the groups, they finance everything, right? I don't know. Well, here we have. Now here we have some questions. You need to complete the questions with a question word. For example, was injured. What question word can we complete here with the was injured? Remember the question words? Let's remember the question words. We have what? Another question word.
What?
What is one question
What?
word? Another question word. Let's remember.
Who was injured?
Okay, very good. Yes. Let's just remember the question words so that you can remember what to use there, okay? So we have what, who, another question word.
How?
How,
Why? How?
very good.
When?
Why, when, very good. Okay,
Which, né?
which, good. Good, very good. Okay, just for you to remember. Now, as Raul gave us the first one, right? So the first one is who? Who was injured, right? Because injured can only be an animal or a person. So it was who? Who was injured? Let's think about other question words to put here. I'm going to put you in a group so that you can discuss together, all right? 3 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes in a group. You can go. 2 minutes. Okay. Let's take a look at the questions now. How? The second one, paintings did they steal?
Teacher, who again? Who paintings did they steal?
This is a possibility if you put whose paintings
Whose, né?
did they steal?
Whose, né?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that, but yes, it's possible. Whose paintings did they steal?
Whose.
Right? Do you remember how you spell whose?
Yes.
Okay, good. I had put what paintings did they steal? Which paintings did they steal? Also possible. Which paintings, what paintings, whose paintings? Very good.
Which,
Okay.
né?
Yes, which, also possible. All right. Henny, were they on strike?
When?
Okay. When were they on strike? Possible. Any other possibility?
Where? Where?
Where? That's right.
Where?
It can be where.
When?
were they on strike? Or another possibility, why? Why were they on strike too? Where, when, why? Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Okay. Guilherme, times was he married?
How much?
Not much. How is correct, but not much. How?
How many?
How many? That's right. How many times was he married? Because usually famous actors are married 2, 3, 4 times, right? How many times? Yes. And the last one, what was the score? Very good, Henny. Okay. Now, let's remember the stories. We have the story of a strike, the story of an explosion, the story of a crime, the story of a hockey game, and the story of a death. Choose one story. Which story would you be more interested in? Guilherme, which story would you be more interested in?
Sure, teacher.
Which story would you be more interested in listening to?
The explosion.
The explosion. Okay, so Guilherme, you are going to concentrate on the explosion, okay? And which story would you be interested in listening more about?
About a crime.
About a crime. Okay, good. And Henny, which story would you be more interested in?
Right.
A crime too?
A strike.
A strike. A strike. All right. Very good. Now, I want you to think of 3 more questions that you want to know about the story that you chose. So if you chose the story about a strike, we have one question here. Why were they on strike? This is one question. I want you to think of 3 more questions about the strike. Okay? And the same for the crime and the same for the explosion. Okay, Guilherme? Think about 3 more questions to ask.
Teacher,
Yes, Guilherme, did you finish?
no teacher. I forgot the verb, the words. The
Repeat, Guilherme.
Portuguese. I forgot the verb, the word.
What
Preso. A palavra, preso.
yes, preso.
É. Preso.
It can be arrested.
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 A-R-R.
E-S.
E-S.
T-E-D.
T-E-D. Arrested.
Arrested. Arrested.
But the verb, that verb is
To
the past.
arrest. To arrest.
In the past form.
And the past form, arrested.
Arrested. I think I finished.
Okay, great. All right, so let's check and see what you have. All right. So Guilherme, you about the explosion, right?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me your questions, Guilherme.
What was reason for explosion?
Okay. What was the reason for the explosion? Good. Another question.
Somebody died.
Did somebody die?
Yes.
Good. Did somebody die?
And the criminal was arrested.
Was the criminal arrested? Okay, very good. Henny,
Yes.
you wrote questions about the strike. Let's
Right.
put the question here.
One. When happens a grand strike in Brazil?
Oh, but we need to ask about the story that we are going to listen. So not Brazil, but when did the strike happen? Do you understand? We are going to listen about the story. We are making questions for the story that we are going to. Okay. When did the strike happen? Another question, Henny.
Another.
Yes.
I go out to cash. In a democracy.
Let's repeat, Henny.
In a democracy, there is necessary to have a negotiation to strike.
So we are going to ask, was there a good negotiation? Right? We can ask that. Was there a good negotiation? One more question, Henny. One more question.
Where is it waiting?
Where?
Where is waiting? We were waiting. There isn't a strike.
Okay, but this is not really a question. Let's make it into a question. Where did the strike happen? Okay, so this is a question if we put it like that. Okay, how about the crime? Your microphone, how?
And how much are paintings that were stolen?
Okay.
How much, né? How much
Yes,
are the
perfect.
paintings?
How much? How much are the paintings that were stolen? Very good.
How
Another
many
question.
paintings? How many paintings did they steal?
Okay. Very good. Another question?
The stolen paintings have been recovered.
Very
Recovered, né?
good. So now we're going to
I
invert to
saw
make the
in, I
question.
saw in the
Invert.
dictionary.
Have the stolen paintings
Have the stolen.
been recovered? Because remember, we need to invert.
Better, né? Yes, yes.
Yes. Have the stolen paintings been recovered? That's right. Very good. Excellent questions. All right. Now we are going to listen to the stories and you are going to concentrate on your questions and listen and see if your questions are answered, okay? Oh, let's listen to the stories.
Track 40. A gas leak was the cause of an explosion in Manhattan yesterday morning, killing 8 people who were living in a nearby apartment building and injuring many more. Most of those injured were people who were walking to work or going to school in the early morning hours. Officials say the gas company is investigating the explosion. Last night, thieves in New York broke into the Museum of Modern Art and escaped with 3 paintings by Picasso valued at $80 million. Cameras were recording the rooms at the time, but the guard who was watching the screen saw nothing. Museum officials didn't discover the theft until the next morning. A national strike in France yesterday brought the country to a complete stop. Offices, banks, schools, and stores all closed, and there were no trains or buses throughout the whole country. Workers were protesting for higher pay, longer vacations, and a shorter working week. The actor James Robertson died last night at his home in Hollywood, California. He was suffering from cancer. With him were his 5 children, his ex-wife, and his second wife, Sherry. The 71-year-old actor is best known for his role as the cowboy Dexter in Mad Men of the West. And finally, sports. The Pittsburgh Penguins last night beat the New York Rangers 2-1. At halftime, the Rangers were winning 1-0, but then 2 goals by Sidney Crosby gave the Penguins a win.
Okay, let's take a look at the questions that we have in the book. The questions in the book. The first question that we have in the book about the story that you chose, Raul, is what paintings did they steal? Or whose paintings did they steal? That you made the question, right? So, whose paintings did they steal? Yes, Raul, you have no more microphone, but I think you said Picasso, right?
Picasso paintings.
Yes, Picasso paintings. Okay. And Henny, did you listen? Why were they on strike? Why were they on strike?
Strike. I don't.
You don't know. All right. Okay. But we know that many people who were injured, many people were injured. Many people were injured. Okay. And how many times was the actor married? He was married 2 times because he had an ex-wife and a second wife. So he was married 2 times.
2 times.
And the score, I don't remember. Does anybody remember the score?
No.
No. All right. So now we are going to concentrate only on the questions that you made. Only on the questions that you made, all right? Let me go back to the questions that you made. Over here. And listen to the story again and concentrate on the questions that you made. Oh, no. I closed.
Track 41. Dictation.
Last night,
Sorry, not this one.
Track 40.
a gas leak was the cause of an explosion in Manhattan yesterday morning, killing 8 people who were living in a nearby apartment building and injuring many more. Most of those injured were people who were walking to work or going to school in the early morning hours. Officials say the gas company is investigating the explosion. Last night, thieves in New York broke into the Museum of Modern Art and escaped with 3 paintings by Picasso valued at $80 million. Cameras were recording the rooms at the time, but the guard who was watching the screen saw nothing. Museum officials didn't discover the theft until the next morning. A national strike in France yesterday brought the country to a complete stop. Offices, banks, schools, and stores all closed, and there were no trains or buses throughout the whole country. Workers were protesting for higher pay, longer vacations, and a shorter working week. The actor James...
I'm going to play again. Concentrate on your 2 stories.
Track 40.
A gas leak was the cause of an explosion in Manhattan yesterday morning, killing 8 people who were living in a nearby apartment building and injuring many more. Most of those injured were people who were walking to work or going to school in the early morning hours. Officials say the gas company is investigating the explosion. Last night, thieves in New York broke into the Museum of Modern Art and escaped with 3 paintings by Picasso valued at $80 million. Cameras were recording the rooms at the time, but the guard who was watching the screen saw nothing. Museum officials didn't discover the theft until the next morning. A national strike in France yesterday brought the country to a complete stop. Offices, banks, schools, and stores all closed, and there were no trains or buses throughout the whole country. Workers were protesting for higher pay, longer vacations, and a shorter working week.
Okay, let's go to the crime first. How much are the paintings that were stolen?
80 million dollars.
Really, $80 million. That's right. A fortune. Yeah,
Yes.
right. And how many paintings did they steal?
3.
3. Very good. Have the stolen paintings been recovered?
I think, teacher, they haven't the
Exactly.
morning, the next morning, the next.
Exactly. They are only investigating at the moment, so they haven't
Good.
been recovered yet. Excellent, Raul. Very nice. Henny, when
Yeah.
did the strike happen? When did the strike happen?
When?
Yes.
When?
According to the story, they said yesterday.
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 Yesterday. Okay.
Yesterday in France.
Right. Where did the strike happen? In France. Okay. Was there a good negotiation?
They negotiation. They about
Hey, hey, Henny, Henny. We don't
No.
know. We don't know. We don't know if there was negotiation in the story. They didn't say. They didn't say in the story. Do you understand, Henny? Okay. All right. And the explosion. What was the reason for the explosion? Do you know? It was a gas leak. A gas leak, right? Did somebody die? Yes, 8 people died. 8 people died and several people were injured. And some of the people were students. They were going to school. So they were young people. Was the criminal arrested? They don't know if it was criminal or not criminal. They are investigating, right?
Investigation.
So there's an investigation. They don't know now. All right. Very good. People, the class is finished, okay? For homework, I'm going to ask you to do the next pages in the book. The next class is our last class. It is our last class, next class, okay? They are pages 22 and 23. Pages 22 and 23. And you are going to do exercises 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay? In the book, pages 20, 22, and 23, and exercises 1, 2, and 3. Okay?
Okay, teacher. 1, 2, 3. In the page 22, 23.
Yes. Yes. And 1, 2, 3 refers to the stories on page 23. So
Okay.
you will understand. Now, one thing that I want to explain to you is question number 1. Question number 1 says, what makes you lose your cool? This expression, to lose your cool, means to get nervous or angry. What makes you get nervous or get angry? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Raul,